Alright guys, it looks like we have a few more people that joined in, so we can go ahead and get started on the pre-market watch list. I'm just going to give it about one more minute. Alright guys, let's go ahead and get started on the watch list here. So as you guys can see, we do have a few gappers this morning. FNGR was a big one yesterday that we were watching. Really over the last few days we've been watching this one. Really nice breakout in the after hours and gap up. We also have ATXI, which is gapping over yesterday's support, which was around $14. So that's going to be a main watch for me. We have SOBR. Hopefully that one stays in play. If we can reclaim above like this 340 area, I'm definitely going to keep an open bias on SOBR. So these are really my top three this morning so far. We do have a few other ones popping up. RMED has a little bit of volume and a few others. But we'll go over all the gappers. Just really quickly, I do want to go over the watch list from last night. And then we can go over the rest of the gappers. And then, of course, if you guys have any questions or if you want me to pull up any stocks, just let me know in the YouTube comments and I can go ahead and pull up any stock for you guys. But I'll go ahead and start off with my watch list from last night. So the first one I had on the watch list was FNGR. I was actually watching this one the first day when it started to get some volume. I was just keeping an eye on it because I noticed that it was kind of getting some volume. And then this is kind of the day where it really took off. At this point though, let's take a look at the daily chart. So we basically rejected 10s in pre-market, so we spiked all the way up here. 9 is a pretty big resistance level, and then we have some levels over here, but not really any big volume days. I guess this day right here had 100,000, but even that isn't really a lot of volume. Let's take a look over here. So yeah, not a lot of volume. On the daily chart, so I would pretty much just treat this like a brand new chart. There's really no clear resistance levels. But with that being said, we have this huge gap up. So for me to be long biased on this, I would probably want to see shorts get trapped, you know, chasing into weakness if we do get a weak open. And then if it can pop over this 850 level and hold as solid support and start to build higher lows above 850 to 9. If that happens, I will definitely keep an open bias on FNGR, and we can see if we get that breakout past these pre-market highs towards $10. So we'll see how it opens. Obviously, it broke under that 850 support. It's trying to turn 850 into resistance. So, you know, it could stay heavy at the open and fade. If that happens, I'm probably going to miss out on the short. I really don't want to chase a weak, you know, short or a weak open on something like FNGR. So, I'm open to that. If I miss it, I'm not gonna chase it down. But if it does reclaim 850 and if it does stay in play and break out, then maybe later I'll look for a short if we get another extension. But I would just be cautious off of the open. I'm definitely gonna give it some time on FNGR, so we'll see if we get any setups there. AERC. So I noticed this one gapping up in after hours yesterday. We kind of have this big level towards 440s in pre-market that it broke down from. So if this can get a lot of volume and maybe pop back over that 430, 440 level, we can definitely keep this one on watch. I'm hoping that it does come back into play, and if it does, I'll definitely be watching it pretty closely. Looking at the daily chart, so this is a stock that had a huge run up really not that long ago. It was about 4 months ago, all the way to the 20s. So this stock does have history of making some big moves in the past. Let's see right here. Lot of resistance towards $10. But before that, this last spike that we had on AERC ended up rejecting like the 7s and 8s. We have the VWAP of that day right here, 660s. And when you look at the volume bar, we had 49 million shares traded on this day and 24 million on this day. So this is definitely a zone or area that I want to pay attention to right here. There's probably a lot of volume that was traded, a lot of potential bag holders in this area. So if we do get a push or an extension, I would imagine that this would probably come into play maybe towards 5 and 6. So that's my plan on this. If this can pop back over 440 and then, maybe even set up for the long and break out, that would be great. And then I can potentially look for a short at those bigger levels on the daily. So that's really what I'd hope for on something like this. But we'll have to see, how it goes off the open. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to set a few price alerts towards 430. And then if it pops back up, I'm going to watch and see how it reacts to this key level. Let's see how that lines up on the daily chart as well. This 440. So it does kind of line up here. It is kind of a level, I guess you could say right here. This support. 380 is kind of a big support here. And then $4. So I would say 4 is a pretty big level on the daily. So hopefully that one comes into play today. If not, I'll just avoid it. We do have also the secondary list on my watch list. So SOBR was on there. So for something like SOBR, when I was looking at this daily chart, this is another daily chart that has no real resistance levels. If you look at these volume bars on this on the daily, you can see that this candle right here only had 1,000 shares traded. This one had 3,000 shares traded. So there's really no real resistance on this daily chart. You got to treat this one basically like a brand new chart as well. We do have this gap, but yeah, there's really no volume there. So for SOBR, I would treat this like a brand new chart. Looking at this daily, we did have a really nice reclaim of $3. We spiked, came back, and then curled back up. So $3 is really going to be key for me. At the moment, I really wouldn't want to see it under that $3 level. Or even really 320s. I feel like if this is going to set up for the long, I'd want to see this hold like this 310, 320 area, and then start to build back up over 330. So I'm going to set a price alert at 330 and 340s, just in case this comes back into play. If we start to hold this with solid support, I'll potentially look for a long setup, and then, we'll see if we can break past yesterday's highs, which was 380 to 385. So hopefully this one stays in play. If not, if it stays heavy under 330, we might see this fade back down to like the 280s, 270s. But I have my price alerts there. So SOBR, ATXI also was on the watch list. We got this nice gap up this morning. So I had a feeling that this one might end up trapping again. So I put it on the watch list, and as you can see, that's exactly what happened. So for me at this point, if I were to be long biased and look for buys on this, look for a buying opportunity, it has to hold this 1450 level, or like this 14, basically yesterday's VWAP, which was around 1420. We need to hold this level from yesterday and then start to build back up, and then from there we can see if we can get that breakout. Obviously, if it stays heavy, we might see this just start to fade under 14. So I'm open to both sides on ATXI, but for the long side, if we can see 1450 hold and then curl back up, I would keep an open bias there. But ATXI, this one will definitely be interesting today. On the daily, this is why I haven't really been shorting this one at all, or I haven't actually been trading this one. I've been trading a lot of other names, but the main reason why I haven't looked for the short is just the daily chart. This daily chart, I felt like it had room to push towards these previous levels, towards like 15 to 20s. And it's pretty much been trapping over the last few days. So this is going to be another main watch, ATXI. And we're almost done with the watch list. I'm just going to really go over a few more. I'll just quickly go over the rest of the secondary list. So BEAT, this one is another one that's been holding up pretty well. We did have that big pullback yesterday, but it held this support. So I still want to keep an open bias on this one in case we get a lot of volume and it starts to spike over 440s. I'll keep an eye on it. If it stays heavy, I'll probably just leave it alone. GTII, this is actually an OTC, but really impressive run. We haven't really been seeing OTCs perform like this one lately, so kind of nice to see. Pretty much went parabolic at the open yesterday. We'll see if this one can get back over $7 or not. ADTX is kind of grinding back up as well. SNTI is also grinding back up. I was watching this one on this first day when we gapped up and had a lot of volume. Alright, so that is pretty much it for the watch list that I made last night. And then just going over the gappers one more time, just to see if there's anything I might have missed. It looks like CNXA is popping up a little bit. AERC is probably going to be no trade today. Looks pretty weak still. So that was pretty much the watch list. When it comes to the overall market, I'll just quickly go over SPY and Tesla. Yesterday I ended up getting puts at the open. I sold those puts into this drop. I'm really happy because I sold the last of them on this wick to the downside. I felt like it was going to curl back up, so I got out, which was a great call. Ended up missing the calls right here. This would have been a great opportunity to buy calls for the spike, but I ended up missing that watching other names. It did give me another opportunity though, right here. I saw this level hold at 363.50s. It just held really well this third time right here. And that gave me a lot of confidence that we were going to continue to the upside. So I bought calls right here, sold some, bought back, sold some. Basically scalped this whole move all the way to the top. My last buy and sell was right here. Ended up selling it after this rejection. So I'm really happy that I was able to capture this move on SPY. But we did get a gap up today. I actually had like 370 targets yesterday, but after this rejection, I decided to just leave it alone, which was a good call. We were kind of running out of time. But we got that gap up to my targets this morning, so when it comes to calls on SPY, I do want to be patient. Obviously, it could just hold 372 and spike higher, and I might miss it if that happens. But I think for calls on SPY, I would prefer to see a pullback to 370. And then if 370 can hold with a lot of support and start to build back up, I'll consider buying calls with a tight risk. I would have to get some type of pullback to get calls though. I really don't want to chase this gap up at all. But at the same time, when you look at the daily, this 370 is big, so it could just end up spiking up off of that level. So we'll see how that reacts at the open. I'm open to both sides. Tesla also seems like it got a little bit oversold yesterday with this gap down and this sell-off, and we're gapping up this morning. So if we can hold 250 on Tesla, that might be a good opportunity for calls to get maybe a bounce back up. So we'll keep an eye on Tesla as well. Thank you guys for listening so far. We have about 3 minutes until the market opens, so I really got to zone in now and focus on my trades. I hope that really helped you guys out. And also, I just want to let you guys know, we do have a little raffle going on. If you go to our YouTube channel, go to the other live stream right now. If you like and comment on that, you'll be entered into a raffle, and we're actually giving away some free 1-week trials. So you guys can go enter in that. You do have to join the public Discord and type in raffle once you join the public Discord, and you'll be entered into that. You guys can go to the live scanner on the public YouTube channel, and if you guys have any questions about how to enter that raffle, just ask Star. He's our other moderator, and he'll be happy to help you guys out with that. But basically, you just have to like and comment on that video, and then comment on the public Discord, and then you'll be entered into that raffle, and you'll have a chance to join our free or private Discord channel for 1 week for free. So hopefully you guys do that, and I think we're allowing like 10 to 15 people to enter for free for 1 week. So that'll be a good opportunity. see, we got about 2 minutes. Also, guys, if you do enjoy these videos, please do me a favor and hit that like button as well. Alright guys, there is the bell. We're already getting a little spike on SPY. See how it reacts. Alright, so little rejection of 373 on SPY. But it's trying to hold 372 at the same time. So I'm going to give it a couple minutes here. Tesla is breaking under 250, but still trying to hold. Big flush there on FNGR. So far, SPY did hold that 372 levels. Tesla also got a pretty nice push off that 250. So let's see if we can get a push on SPY as well. Nice on SOBR, really nice on ATXI as well. It really traps shorts off that open, squeezing right back to those pre-market levels towards the pre-market highs we have at 1670s. Keep a close eye on SOBR. As long as this holds over 330, 340, this does have potential to spike higher. SPY is just slightly breaking out of that pre-market high, but it's not really giving that big push that I want quite yet. I'm in calls right now with the tight stop. So I really want to see this breakout higher. If it kind of fails and goes under 373, then I'll probably just flatten the trade. But it's still trying. We also have Tesla that is testing those pre-market highs as well. But yeah, if we do pull back on SPY, I really would just want to see a small pullback and then a breakout. I'm not going to give it that much room to the downside. I'm going to have a very tight stop. ATXI on scans. $375 was kind of a big level from last week. $375. All right. Can we get a decent push here on SPY? It's trying. See if we can push past 374. So Tesla actually rejected those pre-market highs. Let me pull up Tesla here. Little rejection. We'll see if it holds 250 though. SPY is still kind of stalling at this 274. I'm still waiting for a push. I already sold some of my calls into this push, so it's pretty much a free trade at this point for me because I can have a break-even stop on the rest and I can kind of just let it work now. ATXI ended up rejecting those pre-market highs pretty bad there. We do have AERC though. Hopefully that one can pop over that key level that I mentioned in pre-market. Tesla had another pretty big rejection there of that pre-market high again. SPY hasn't quite made up its mind, but it's holding this 373.40 pretty well so far. And let's see how it reacts to this new high. I really would like to sell if we can get a nice push to like 375, 376s. That would be great on SPY. That's kind of what I'm aiming for. There we go. Nice push on SPY. So I sold some into that push. And trailing my stop basically. But so far so good on SPY. The tape was pretty easy to read at the open. There was just a lot of strength on the tape. I was able to get an entry in this area. Sold into this pop. I was able to move my stop up. And then it held and then sold again. So really nice move so far on SPY. Hopefully that one continues. I'm going to start to focus on small caps a little bit more now that I can kind of just let this trade work. But, you know, FNGR faded hard. I ended up missing the short on that. You know, SOBR, I really wasn't looking for a short on this. It's really choppy. So I was hoping that it would run higher for a short, but we just ended up getting these wicks so far. So no real setup for me on SOBR. Really the only thing I'm interested in right now when it comes to small caps is probably this AERC. I want to see this one come back into play and hopefully make a big move. And then that'll definitely get my attention. Let me just take a look and see if there's maybe other stuff popping up. But beautiful trades on SPY so far. Really happy with that. Now ideally this 374 can hold and we get that next leg up. Let me take a look at my scans. TDUP, not really much volume there. We have real. This one's getting a little push here. Let's take a look at the daily. Pretty beaten up daily. So if anyone is trailing SPY, we might get another leg up here. But just a reminder, we do have some resistance towards 375 to 377 area. Alright guys, so at this point, just still watching SPY, but I do want to focus on this REAL. For a short potentially. So looking at the daily on this one, I feel like we have a lot of resistance towards like 220s, 250s, 350s. So we definitely have some levels on this daily chart on real. If we can get a push and a nice extension into like maybe the twos, somewhere in the twos, I'm gonna be looking for a short on real. If this ends up getting a really extended move, so we'll keep an eye on that one. Nice push there on SPY. Man, and what a fade on FNGR. Really didn't stand a chance off the open, just a straight down dump. We have some big levels here though towards 550 and 5. Tesla is still trying to hold this 250 level. So we'll see how this ends up here. Should pick a direction here pretty soon out of this flag or wedge. But it's been pretty choppy this morning on Tesla. So I'm kind of glad I avoided Tesla and just stuck with SPY. It's been a lot easier the last couple days with this really solid trend that we have. I definitely could have done a lot better on SPY today. I'll show you guys a screenshot. So definitely could have done a lot better. Basically, took that move, got a nice entry at the open around here on the calls because I saw that it was just super strong off the open. It didn't look like it was going to pull back or anything. So I knew that I was able to get a tight risk. So I ended up buying those calls, selling into that push. And then I did try to re-enter here. Got chopped up a little bit. Same right here, you know. I tried to re-enter for this leg up, but it ended up kind of chopping me out before this leg. So that was kind of unfortunate. But I really should have been trailing and holding this for these higher targets. If you're still in it, if you're still in calls and you have a really good entry, it's probably smarter to have wider stops and just let it work. Even if it's just one contract, you know, if SPY stays in this uptrend the whole day, you never know how far that one contract can go. So that's really what I'm working on is, you know, buying SPY calls or puts, selling, scalping, you know, half of it, and then holding the other half as long as possible. That's really what I'm trying to do, but a lot of times I'll end up selling into strength and then just not letting that extra contract go for the whole day. So that's really what I'm working on. But I'm really happy with how I'm able to get these really tight stops, really precise entries. I've been really focusing on options really like the last month or so or the last few weeks, just taking advantage of all the volatility and all the range. And it's been nice. I like trading options along with small caps. I feel like I always have something to focus on. You know, if small caps are slower, I can focus on the option side. And honestly, the risk reward is actually really good. You know, say for something like FNGR, if I'm shorting this breakdown, I'm probably going to have a wider risk on something like this. I'm probably going to have like a 40, 50 cent risk. Maybe like 20 cents if I'm able to get a really tight stop. But let's say I'm risking 50 cents, you know, and you get a couple dollars to the downside. That's pretty good risk to reward. But I can basically do the same thing on SPY with like a really tight stop. A lot of times I can have, you know, a 20 cent stop on some of these really tight entries. And then I'll end up getting points out of it. So I think you can get really good risk to reward on options as well. It's definitely something to look into, especially if you have a smaller account or a cash account. I feel like that's probably going to be the fastest way to grow a small account or a cash account. Because with options, the next day, though, that money is actually going to be available versus if you're trading with a cash account and you're trading stocks, you know, you trade that money and then you have to wait an extra day to get that money back to trade with. With options, you'll get it back the next day with the cash account. So that's really the big difference. If you guys have, if you're under PDT, it's something to definitely look into. Real This ended up just rejecting 180. I don't think I'm going to get that extension that I wanted, unfortunately, on that one. But we'll see. Maybe it'll hold and curl back up. I'm actually going to shift my focus over to AERC. Hopefully this one breaks out over this key 440 level. All right, so SPY at this point, Tesla looks pretty heavy actually. Tesla looks pretty heavy at the moment. It might end up breaking this support. SPY, this 375 is going to be key here. This is either going to be a lower high and a flush to the downside, or a higher low and breakout. So I'm watching the tape really closely here. Nice push on SPY. I actually just scalped that little move there. So I scalped this move on SPY. Now I got calls again at 375.60 and I'm risking off of 375.50. So I'm able to get a 10-cent stop here. If this even pushes up a dollar, that would be really good risk to reward. Obviously I could get some slippage if this breaks under, but a lot of times I can get a really tight stop on these pullbacks when the tape is right. And then hopefully, we can get a couple points out of it to the upside. Hopefully we can get 377. That's really what I want, 377s. Just a bit more volume here, just a bit more volume. Okay, 376.50s. Not bad. Nice scalp there. So this is exactly what I need to work on. I need to hold my original position, scalp a little bit, but just hold for this entire move. Because I can scalp on the way just fine, but those extra contracts that I hold from the very bottom, those are going to be exponential at the top. So that's what I need to work on. The last few days, I keep scalping these out too early, and I'm not holding a core long enough. So that's my main issue. But so far, nice green day on SPY. But I can definitely do better. Tesla held that support, pushing up. I thought it was going to break support, but obviously I'm watching SPY a lot more closely than Tesla, so I don't have the best read on Tesla. There's 277s on SPY. But incredible trend here that we have on SPY the last few days. I think just too many people got way too short biased for this break of 360s. I think a lot of people just were shorting that too aggressively, and it reversed hard these last few days. Obviously, it is also a pretty big support level, so really great opportunity. I'm actually going to make an options video pretty soon to show the private Discord members how I kind of go about it. But for the most part, you know, you guys can kind of see how I'm trading it right now. Pretty happy with the day so far. The only thing I need to work on is just holding a core position whenever I get a good entry. I could definitely maximize a lot better. But hopefully you guys caught that with me on SPY. If anyone caught calls today, you know, send me your trades on Discord. I would love to see it. I'll show you guys my trades right here. You can see the screenshot. So you can see I've been buying calls basically the whole morning. Scalp this. I had one loss right here, small loss. But you can see right here on these scalps, 525 to 539. Nice scalp there for this break. I got back in with a really tight stop, and I was able to get a nice push. So 540s to 580s I sold. You know, if you're getting, you know, even just a couple contracts, it really can add up. All these scalps can really add up. Tesla, really strong move to the upside. But yeah, I'm definitely easing off SPY now because I know that this 377 was a pretty big level. That was basically my target for today, was around this area. AERC ended up getting that spike to that key level that we've been mentioning in pre-market, 440s. So like I'll show you guys a good entry. I'm not gonna enter here because it's already made a big move. But just for an example, let's say we're at a bigger support level and it's not as extended. If we break out a key level and then that turns into support, a lot of times I'll try to buy the calls right at that support level. And then, you know, if you're good at reading the tape, you can get that really tight entry. And then a lot of times those work instantly, right? Obviously, I'm not going to do that here because we already made this big move and this could be a lower high, kind of leaning towards this pulling back more. But for example, right here, right? When this broke out right here and it pulled back, I believe I got my tight entry right here. I was telling you guys 375.50 was my stop, and I got my entry right here. So you can see how tight that stop is. If it flushed, maybe I get some slippage and I get out like right here, right? But for the most part, I can have a really tight stop, and look how much it went up from here, right? Almost 2 points on like a 10-20 cent stop. So really good risk reward. And what you want to watch for is you want to watch that breakout, and you really want to see the tape kind of slow down on that pullback. You don't want to see obviously a lot of selling pressure. You want to see just the tape kind of slow down, and then once you see that green curl back up, that's when you can kind of get that tight stop. Tesla finally starting to break to the upside. Alright, but yeah, I'm done with SPY calls now for the day, so I'm probably not going to trade that anymore. Unless I like flip to puts at some point. Maybe if it goes higher, I'll look for puts, but I don't want to get too aggressive up here on the calls. But anyways, guys, see, what are we on time? It's only been 30 minutes so far, so still pretty early. I don't know why, but it feels like it's been like 2 hours already. It feels like it's almost lunchtime. But anyways, so I'm just focused on AERC. That's pretty much it right now. If anything else kind of pops up on the scanner that I'm interested in, I'll be sure to let you guys know. We actually have NCRA, which is getting a little extension here. Let's take a look at the daily on this. So there's like no volume on this daily chart on NCRA. So I can't really stress on too many key levels here. This is another one where you gotta kind of treat it like a brand new chart. We do have some volume here, I suppose, some resistance towards 3, but not a lot of volume overall on the daily. I'll just keep an eye on it if it spikes higher. Also, AERC, we'll see how this 440 reacts. Alright guys, so I'm going to go ahead and end the YouTube live stream here. If you're in the private Discord and you want to view my screen, I'm going to go ahead and switch over to the Discord voice channel and screen share so you guys can join in on that. If you guys like the commentary and you want to join the private Discord room, this is basically what you'll get there every day. I post my watch list in the morning. Also at nighttime, I have a watch list. And then you're going to get my live commentary, my alerts, and things like that. So if you guys are interested in joining the private Discord, there is a link in the description. The monthly cost for the Discord room is very cheap. It's only about 35 or 39 right now. I'd have to double check. But it's very affordable. So if you guys enjoy that, you can check out the website. And I'm going to end it today, but I will actually be back tomorrow morning. And for the rest of this week, I'm actually going to do a live stream every morning. So if you guys enjoy that, be sure to tune in tomorrow. Do me a huge favor as well. If you can hit that like button, it really helps our channel out a lot. But yeah, I hope you guys did well today, and I hope you guys all have an awesome day as well.